Welcome to the Healthcare Provider Happy Hour. This is a safe space where we invite healthcare providers to unapologetically be themselves after the working day. My name is Jennifer George, and each week I will connect you with guests and stories that will help transform your stress to success and fulfillment. Are you with me? Grab your drink of choice and let's chat. Hey everyone, welcome to the Healthcare Provider Happy Hour. I'm your host, Jennifer George, and I'm joining you this afternoon with a cup of black organic coffee. I want to chat with you today about gratitudes. Surprise, surprise. I always sprinkle gratitudes into many of my podcasts, especially the last few that you might have heard. And I think it's such an important practice to your everyday life that will enhance your well-being and your fulfillment with your journey right now in healthcare and even in your everyday life as a human being. And first and foremost, I want to pay gratitude for you, my listeners. This is the first month. Well, October was the first month that since I've been podcasting over the year where we've had over 1,000 downloads. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for taking the time to listen to me and take in what I have to share and let it enlighten you, educate you, inspire you, whatever it may be. Thank you so much, and I hope you continue listening. With respect to gratitudes, I want to tell you about this hack, and I don't even want to call it a hack because I feel like it takes away from the significance of it and how impactful it really can be. So typically I recommend when you are paying your gratitudes and when you're writing them down that you do it in the morning, and it can be for the things that you already are grateful for in your life that are happening. It can be, things like your health, your career, clean water, a roof over your head. And it can also be things that you want to bring into your life, right? As if you had already received it. And so that's what I've been doing a lot of as well lately, is basically writing my desires from the standpoint of gratitude and imagining the feeling behind it. So one of the things I've been recently desiring and wanting to bring into my life are the right people or organizations to read my book. And so I came across a podcast host who's also an occupational therapist, and his roots and my roots are pretty similar in terms of our practice. And so I thought, I'm going to send him a book. And that's what I did. So I offered to send him a book. He was super grateful, sent it to him. He's down in Georgia, and him and I will probably do a show together soon. But anyway, when I made the decision to share my book with him, I mailed my book out of the UPS, and I usually go to Canada Post to mail out my stuff, but for some reason I went to the UPS, and I thought it was weird that I was doing it, but I just went with it. I didn't question it. I didn't try to change my own mind. I just went with it. And the moment I stepped out of my car, it was raining like crazy out, and the moment I stepped out of my car, there was this bright silver dime in the empty parking spot beside me, and it was just beaming. And it was only meant for my eyes. It was just so for me. And I don't know how much you are invested in your spiritual being and practice, but for me, seeing dimes is often a sign that my dad, who has passed, is around me, and that my angels are around me, and that I'm being guided in the right direction, and that I'm on the right path. So as you can imagine, when I saw the dime, I felt really good about my decision. Sending him my book, going to the UPS for some reason, it just all made sense. And so the thing about my book is I've been feeling conflicted about it, and I've been asking for the universe and for God to guide me in the right direction so that my book can get into the hands of the right people and the hearts of the right people who can use it as a guide to help enhance their practice and help other patients that come into their path. And so when I came across him, I really felt like he was one of the right people. And that dime, seeing the dime really confirmed that for me. And it brought me so much peace. And these are the things that when they happen, you have to then go back and pay gratitude for that. Okay? So that's what I've been doing lately. So if I've been asking for something, desiring something, and expressing why it is that I want it to happen, and then it happens, then I'm sure as heck going back and saying thank you. Thank you. And I'll tell you right now, that has been so huge in manifesting and attracting and bringing things into my life that I want. And I've been doing this lately, and this is just this story is just one example, but even other things like my podcast downloads. I was close to 1,000 podcast downloads, and I've been asking to hit 1,000 for the month of October. And sure enough, we exceeded 1,000. And again, going back to my gratitude journal and saying thank you for that. And I'm not like an ego-driven person when it comes to numbers and stuff, because if I was, then I definitely would not still be doing this podcast. When you look up what the average downloads are for successful podcasts, supposedly, I do this podcast because it's just an outlet for me to connect with a select few out there who are like-minded and can use some enlightenment, inspiration, empowerment, and hopefully overcome stress in their lives that are leading them down a path of burnout. I want healthcare providers to know that healthcare needs you right now more than ever, and we need you well. And so what I recommend you do, if you are like me and you write down your gratitudes in the morning, if you listen to the other couple podcasts, the one on attracting what it is that you want for your life, and the one about being in a cycle of negative experiences and outlooks, I recommend you check out those podcast episodes as well, because those talk about gratitudes, desires, intention, worthiness around your journaling. And this podcast is now introducing you to go back and pay gratitude for what it is that you did end up receiving. And then what ends up happening is this energy just becomes reciprocal, right? It just becomes reciprocal. You put it out, it's delivered, it's received by you, and then you pay thanks for it. And then you put it out, you put something out again. And it can be the same thing in a different way, right? There's no limit to this, and this is something that should bring you joy. This is something that should bring you peace. This is something that should bring you empowerment. This is something that should bring you excitement and positive energy and uplifting energy into your everyday life. So try it. Okay, try it. And then what I want to know is how it worked for you, because I don't see myself stopping this practice. It's been so cool. It's been so cool to experience what it is that you actually ask for. And what we have to do as healthcare providers is start asking for something for our own lives, because we're always giving. But to finally ask ourselves what it is that we desire, what it is that we want, and to sit with that. And in doing that, right, you have to work through the uncomfortable feelings of asking for what it is that you want. Sometimes that can make us feel uneasy. And what I talked about in the last podcast too about that was that it can make you realize that maybe you're not feeling as worthy of it as you thought you would be when you actually hear yourself say it or write it down and read it, whatever it might be. But understand that you are worthy of it all. You are worthy of it all, not for what you do, but because of who you are. Okay, so if you like this podcast, please take a screenshot, tag me, My handle at Instagram is at bestobsessedwithjen. DM me, let me know what you're thinking about when it comes to these podcasts. If you have any ideas in order to bring more value to your life and to your practice, just hit me up. Like, I can take constructive criticism and I'm always open to new ideas. So keep that in mind and reach out and let me know. Or if you're just a listener and you're enjoying the show, please reach out and just say hi. I would love to hear from you. So until we chat next time, remember to stay well, be grateful, and stay happy. So if you guys like this podcast, please subscribe and leave an honest review. Your feedback means everything to me. Your reviews are what moves this podcast forward, and I always appreciate receiving them. If you want to get a hold of me directly, reach out to me on social media. My handles are in the show notes, and you can always subscribe to my weekly newsletters at jennifergeorge.co so that we can stay connected. So until next time, thank you guys so much again for your ongoing support.